Hello, and welcome to this review of The Secret Scientists of London historical romance book series by Elizabeth Everett. I'm Olivia, your new favorite resource for book recommendations you can easily screenshot, and you're watching Random Olive Reads. So, first up is A Lady's Formula for Love. And in this one, we have Violet, who is a widowed viscountess who has opened her home to a women's club called Athena's Retreat. Now, publicly, they drink tea and host lectures for women, but behind the scenes, there's actually a secret science lab where women work on various experiments. There's like a physics lab, a chemistry lab, there's a mathematician who works there, someone who works with animals, all sorts of things. Violet herself is a chemist and somehow gets recruited by the government to assist in an ongoing investigation. With the potential danger that she could be in, her stepson and the current Viscount has hired a protection officer to serve as her bodyguard. And of course, with the forced proximity and learning about each other, they do end up starting an affair and falling in love. And then there's that whole investigation and mystery part in the background. This book was a really good introduction of the different characters within the retreat, as well as the acceptance of a footman with a past that has caused him to be estranged from his family. It's really no wonder that we all enjoy the bodyguard Arthur's strong and steady protection in this book. Next up is A Perfect Equation. So, Letty is one of the mathematicians of the club. She's the daughter of a wealthy shop owner, and she was ruined from society due to a scandal involving an earl's son. Graycliffe is Violet's stepson and comes into the contact with the club every so often. Over the years since Letty's scandal, Gray has proved to be a stern and icy and disparaging sort of fellow that she dislikes interacting with, despite being terribly attracted to him. Gray has his own reasons for being rigid and unemotional, like a childhood history of seizures and banishment from his family home. And he had believed the Earl, who was actually his godfather, when he said that a conniving young Letty tried to compromise that gentleman into marriage. But over the years, Gray has had trouble reconciling the personality of this like dowdy blue stocking mathematician in front of him with the villain that his godfather had described. Now, mix in some political drama involving men who do not want to see women away from hearth and home, and we've got Gray and Letty with competing interests, and then he's learning to soften his walls and learn someone else's perspective for once. The third and final book of the series is A Love by Design. Now, the previous book had some hints at a history between George and Margaret, and we get the full story here. This book takes place about a year and a half after the events of book two. So, George and Margaret and Violet, the main character from book one, were childhood friends out in the country where George was not really part of the aristocracy yet. He was just kind of like a farmer type character. So one summer, when it seemed like romance was developing between George and Margaret, heartbreak occurred instead. And we do learn what it was at some point during this book when they finally talk it out. Now, after they parted ways, George joined the army and somehow ended up an earl, while Margaret found an engineering mentor in Paris, got married there, and became widowed. Now it's about like 13 years later. Margaret is back in England to start her own engineering company and is undertaking a huge project that is unfortunately funded by the nemesis of the female scientists at Athena's retreat and of George's. While George and Margaret are growing closer again and working out their heartbreaking past, Margaret is still holding on to secrets about her employer's funding and causing discourse among the female scientists. George ends up being the more emotionally mature and politically progressive one in the relationship, supporting Margaret's ambitions, providing her comfort and humor and safety. And also, there's a scene in here that was hinted at with one person's complete awkwardness in the bedroom, and there's this really delightful payoff when the truth finally comes out. It was actually so good. I sent a screenshot of the page to my friend, like immediately via text. So overall, it was really fun to read about all the women scientists in the series with their various projects and passions. We also get to see a wide range of representation in these books with the easy acceptance from the other members of the club and the three men who are the main characters of the story. We have a trans man who is mentored by the other men in the story. We have an elderly same sex female couple. We have characters of color. There's discussion and use of contraception throughout the series. Overall, we have really an enjoyable trio of books with just the right blend of external plot with romance plot. Thank you so much for watching this video. Links to all the books I've talked about are in the description box below. Like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and you can follow me on Instagram at randomolive.